Okay, here in example 5 of lesson 5.5, we're going to use a half angle formula, and we're going to use it to find the exact value of the sine of 105 degrees. Okay, so what we do is, we have our formula, sine of u over 2 equals plus or minus square root 1 minus the cosine of u divided by 2. Okay, u is going to be equal to whatever it takes. Well, let's back that up. U divided by 2 has to equal 105 degrees. Therefore, u equals 210 degrees. Okay? So the sine of 105 is equal to the sine of 210 divided by 2, which is plus or minus the square root of 1 minus the cosine of 210, because u is 210, all divided by 2. Well, to find the cosine of 210, draw my thing. 210 degrees is in this quadrant. Okay. Reference angle is this little one here. So I take 210 minus 180. And the reference angle is 30 degrees. And so that's 1, 2 squared 3. Therefore, the cosine of 210 equals square root 3 over 2. We know the cosine is negative in the third quadrant, so it's really negative square root 3 over 2. So this formula becomes square root of 1 minus negative square root of 3 over 2 divided by 2, which equals the square root of 1 plus the square root of 3 over 2 all over 2. And now we've got to simplify this. So I'm going to take out the 1, replace it with 2 over 2 because 2 would be its common denominator. And that would give me the square root of 2 plus square root 3 over 2 all over 2. This 2 is that one on the bottom. This one here is the common denominator. So to get rid of this fraction, I multiply by the reciprocal. So it becomes 2 plus square root 3 over 2 times, instead of divide by 2, I multiply by a half. And that gives me the square root of 2 plus the square root of 3 over 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. I can square root the 4 because it's on the bottom, make it 2, so it becomes the square root of 2 plus the square root of 3, all divided by 2. And that is the exact value of the sine of 105 degrees. Just like that. Okay? Once you guys go ahead and try number 47, use the half angle formula to find the sine of 75. Press pause and come back, see if you got it right. Okay, so u over 2 has to be 75 degrees, therefore u is 150 degrees. We know we're going to have to draw some type of an angle. 150 is right here. So the reference angle is 30. So the sine of u over 2 equals plus or minus the square root of 1 minus the cosine of 210 degrees divided by 2. One thing I forgot to mention in the example was the plus or minus piece. Since this angle is 75, or since the angle is 75 degrees and 75 degrees is in the first quadrant, then it's going to be a positive, even though it says plus or minus. The minus comes in just in case the angle is in the third or the fourth. But since 75 degrees is in the first quadrant, it's going to be positive. And so I put, this is going to be the positive square root of 1 minus the cosine of 210. Sorry, I shouldn't put a cosine of 210, it should be the cosine of u. So we're looking for, in this situation, the cosine of 150 degrees. The cosine of 150 turned out to be, there's 1, there's 2, there's square root 3. The cosine of 150 turns out to be square root of 3 over 2. And it's, again, negative because it's in the second quadrant. 150 is in the negative quadrant, so it becomes plus square root 3 over 2 because minus a negative makes it positive. So again, I'll erase this 2 and I'll replace that with the fraction 2 over 2 so I can add the fractions together. So 2 plus square root 3 over 2 all over 2, and it's the square root of that. Work on simplifying. 2 plus square root 3 over 2 times 1/2, the square root of that. So that becomes 2 plus square root 3 over 4. When I take the square root of 4, I get 2 plus the square root of 3 all over 2. And it looks just like that for your final answer. Okay? So there's the sine of that. If you did the cosine one, the cosine of 75 degrees, you should have come up with 2 minus the square root of 3 all over 2. And if you did the tangent of 75 degrees, because I believe 47 asked you to do sine, cosine, and tangent, I believe you should have came up with 2 plus the square root of 3. So there's, if you have trouble with the cosine or tangent, ask in class and we'll figure those out.